Welcome back, Mid-Ohio Valley. Big news out of Morgantown this weekend as men's head basketball coach Bob Huggins resigned following a DUI arrest in Pittsburgh. The news is still making waves across West Virginia and the college basketball world. One half of the popular podcast, the Raspy Voice Kids, Jeremy Phoenix, joins us live in studio this evening to discuss it. Good evening, Jeremy, and thanks so much for joining me here.
What's up, Andrew? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's a pleasure to have you here with us at a new time slot because we used to hanging out on daybreak. So.
Hey, man, anytime you guys want to do it, I'm here.
Absolutely, but I want to get right to it right now. I mean, obviously, big news out of Morgantown with Coach Bob Huggins. He has now resigned, so I want to get what your initial thoughts were when you first started hearing about this.
I think I'm the same as everybody else. Like when we first heard it, you're hearing like little reports. About 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm on a Twitter feed. I'm starting to get these reports, and I look at my phone, it's completely blowing up, and you're just hoping they're not true.
Right.
After a few hours, before it got to be 9 o'clock in the morning, before we heard anything, that's when it started hitting me. This is more real, because if it wasn't real, somebody would have said something. So it was just, it's kind of sickening. It's like a punch in the stomach, you know? And to see what transpired and how it went down is just, I feel bad for Bobby. I feel bad for the state. I feel bad for Mountaineer fans. Like, nobody wins in this type of situation.
Absolutely, there is no one winning in this situation, and we're losing a great guy who was a great head coach for the team, but obviously had some personal stuff going off off the court right now. But I do want to ask you too, because obviously Bob Huggins is a legend, whether it's in the state of West Virginia as a head basketball coach, or just in the whole NCAA basketball world. I mean, he has been one of the winningest coaches ever. So how does this affect his legacy?
Hall of Fame. Look, you would love to confine people's legacies to on the court. But we know realistically that's not how it works. When you deal with people, especially when it's the last thing they saw, that's what they remember. Like, don't get it twisted. Bob Huggins has done so many good things. You hear reports, you hear people talking about it. I think Jordan McCabe just put something out on Twitter.
I did read that, yeah.
About what he did for his mother when his mother had cancer. These are big deals. You think about the Norma Ray Huggins Foundation. That's huge. They've made so many great strides. Things that you can't take away. Do you know the first time I ever seen the Jumpman Jordan logo on any kind of athletic uniform? It was at Cincinnati with Bob Huggins. That's where it started. Now you may think about like them in the NBA, you think about all kind of college teams having that Jumpman, but it started in Cincinnati. So he's done a lot of great things, but unfortunately, my dad always said in life, it's easy to develop a reputation and it's hard to get rid of. And I know it's been years since an incident like this happened with Bobby, but it's happened before. And now you see it now, and you get the numbers and the figures. It's one of the things that hurts, and unfortunately, it will stick with him and be part of his legacy. It'll be part of his story.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you. I don't think it completely tarnishes his legacy at all, but it's definitely something that impacts it, and that will now be a lasting moment. As you said, it's the last thing that people are going to remember him as the West Virginia head coach probably now. But I do want to ask too, what do you think is the most important thing for the university and this team going forward? How do you keep this roster together that they've built, which obviously Coach Huggins was a big part of, and just this whole impact that the basketball team has on the community?
Anytime that something happens like this, it's significant, especially off the court. Drinking and driving, it's very, very significant. But if we're going to talk about a basketball aspect, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. We had a great class coming in, one of the top transfer recruits in the country, all of them coming in. There were high expectations for West Virginia basketball this year. And then you just chop the head off the steak. That's tough. But I will say, a lot of those players came to play 1 or 2 years at West Virginia. I heard people saying, hey, they should be involved in the coaching hire. I don't agree. My brother said the other day, actually on our podcast when it comes out, last time we let the students or the young men in on a decision for head coach was in 2007 when we picked Bill Stewart.
Right.
So I think cooler heads need to prevail. This is about the longevity of West Virginia. This is about West Virginians. And you need to take your time and make a good decision. And the truth is, I know it's going to hurt people's feelings. You can't worry about this year. I know we want to. We can't worry about this year. It's out of our hands now. Get something in place in the future that we can be proud of.
Absolutely. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me here in studio. This is obviously a very serious and important topic to discuss, as I can see it on your face. I mean, you're pained to be hearing this news, and I'm sure there's plenty in our community that are as well, because this hurts with Coach Bob Huggins. He's a great guy, but if you guys want to hear more of the Raspy Voice Kids, of Jeremy, his opinions, his brother Brandon's opinions, they've got their podcast. It's a great time, so make sure to listen to them on any platform. It's all out there. But Jeremy, thank you again so much for joining me.
Raspy Voice!